Our world is staring at a series of grave challenges, with conflicts, uncertainty over economic policy, shifting security landscape, changing world order, and brewing discontent. Today, the geopolitical landscape seems to be sliding towards greater chaos, but this does not mean that it has to be less collaborative or that dialogue cannot pave the way forward. And this is exactly why India is hosting the Raisina Dialogue, the premier global summit of the world's most populous nation. Firstpost is partnering with the Raisina Dialogue this year to bring you the Ideas Pod. This is day 2 of the summit, in fact. And earlier today, we had some thought-provoking conversations with world leaders, decision makers and experts about Europe's East Asia conundrum as it re-examines its future in a polarized world. We also talked about the growing influence of the global south on the world stage and the growth of Southeast Asia in a shifting security landscape. Here are the highlights from all these conversations and more. Marco Perestrello, NATO is increasingly also looking to engage with India on weapons manufacturing, on joint military drills. What sort of a relationship do you see between New Delhi and NATO going forward?
Precisely what I mentioned a while ago.
Yeah.
When we are developing the need of the growing industry in Europe, that is an opportunity for the Indian private sector to engage with the European private sector that is going to work on that industry capacity. And if we can work on better interoperability, that is also good for India to have new opportunities of procurement, and also India reduce their dependence on just one country or one region. So it will be better for India, and it will be better for Europe to create new common capacities that are able to reduce our dependencies from others and to become more capable in that sense. So what I see now as an opportunity with the development of the European military industry is an opportunity for both blocs to become stronger and more reliable on each other. It's an opportunity also to increase the trade between the two countries, and that will make both stronger on the defense of the interests or strategic interests that you have and that we also have on the Indo-Pacific area.
Yes.
NATO has more than 40 partnerships, from Middle East to Central Asia to Indo-Pacific. Even Colombia is a partner of NATO. So every partnership is very different. So there is no one sort of type of measurement that if you are a partner, how you have to be. And that involves sometimes training on issues such as cyber, or sharing the knowledge, or it involves training of peacekeepers. Economic security issues, it can be subsea cables. So there's different interests that different partners have in their relationship with NATO. So whatever the interest would be in this case, if India decides it does have an interest, it can be on defense industry, for example, or on standardization, or on other issues. I think there will be a lot of interest among the countries in NATO, because at the end, NATO is also an intergovernmental organization. It consists of 32 member states.
Yes.
And Indian military is, of course, a very strong military, and I think it would be very interesting, actually, to have that relationship also there to see whether we can build on something.
How is Philippines balancing those economic relations with China, and then you obviously are a treaty ally of the United States? How does that work out?
Well, as we have said on many occasions, of course, we have extensive relations with China, especially on the economic front, and of course with the United States also as a treaty ally. And we are dealing with both of them in a way that we try and enhance our interests. Of course, we have tensions in the South China Sea. And those are tensions, I think, which have been there, especially recently, and has led to a number of incidents. But we have always been committed to dealing with these tensions or incidents through management, through diplomatic or peaceful means, and we're still committed to that. And of course, we are doing everything in our ability to ensure that we try and follow this track. But of course, we've made perfectly clear that while we're committed to peaceful or diplomatic solutions, it would not be at the expense of our interests as far as the South China Sea is concerned.
If you look at any political organization, and I don't just mean the global South, historically any organization, they tend to thrive when there's a clear leadership. Do you see this sort of a leader emerging in the global South? Because I know that China and India have both staked claim to that leadership position. How does a country like Nepal, for example, look at this leadership tussle within the global South?
Well, for Nepal, it's a balancing act, and our location, our very location is between China and India. It's one of the most strategic locations in the world, but also a very geopolitically sensitive place. And the leadership of China and India both on the global stage seem to be, going at their own pace. India is leading in some issues, China is leading on some issues. So for countries like Nepal, it's trying to balance and also to see where the alignment best fits, so that Nepal as a nation can progress. So for this, like I was in this session just now on a Marshall Plan on climate action. Maybe India has the capacity to convene these kind of huge forums and discuss all these issues in a very open way, in a very democratic way. So it would be opportune, moment for India to perhaps take on the mantle. I think it's not really, one nation for every issue. I think there will be leadership on different issues of different emerging big countries from the global South.
Maybe, they need reform, that's for sure, and there's agreement on that. But I think he's going to interfere in the way we interact, basically.
I think that it has been extremely puzzling to countries around the world that the U.S. has gone so far and taken these extreme steps that confound them. It's exactly, we'll end where we began, which is, this is why there are no DEI programs in India. It's why there are no DEI programs in many other parts of the world. They are inherently destabilizing, and they do not provide added liberty or freedoms to citizens that they are supposedly intended to protect.
Do you think that Ukraine is at its weakest position?
This war is not about Ukraine.
Do you believe that your president was insulted? Yes or no question. Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Diplomacy will work?
Yes,
Do you think
will.
Russia will give up the territory if there is no ceasefire? Do you propose to keep fighting?
We are ready to resist.
Do you think there will be peace?
Many countries gave us 3 days.
President Trump said you don't have any cards.
We do not have another choice.
How do you keep fighting?
You ask me once again the same question.
Because you've not answered my question.
We have enough capacities to keep fighting.
Firstpost brings you the Ideas Pod at the Raisina Dialogue 2025, the largest gathering of global policymakers, thought leaders, and innovators, now on the fastest growing international news platform. Big ideas, big debates, big impact. Only at the Ideas Pod.
Raisina Dialogue.
Firstpost gives you front row access to the conversations that matter most. The Ideas Pod. Raisina Dialogue 2025 on Firstpost. From March 17th to March 19th.